How's it going, loves? It's Alyse here, and today I am excited to share with you 10 habits that have enhanced my life. I know it's really easy nowadays to look at someone else's life on social media and think, oh my gosh, they have it so freaking easy. They have such a stress-free life, and to be totally honest, my life nowadays does feel pretty stress-free and abundant in so many different ways, but that is 100% not how it was when I was growing up, when I was younger, and in my young adult years, like in high school and college and all of that. I was struggling in so many different ways with anxiety, depression, self-harm. I was struggling with an eating disorder. I was self-sabotaging in so many different aspects of life, my relationships, my personal health, all these different things. And I didn't really have that great of a support system to help me get through those dark times. But looking back now, I realized that I kind of found that support within myself through all of the different habits that I'm going to share with you today. These are things that I have been incorporating in my life for years and really did help me get through some of the hardest times of my life. So this video is for anyone who feels stuck or unmotivated, or like you just keep self-sabotaging and just want to get out of that cycle and have a healthier life for yourself. This video is for you, and it's also for any of my fellow self-growth enthusiasts who have wondered like what actually goes on behind the scenes. There are just certain things, like certain habits and ways of thinking and perceiving the world and interacting with the world that are kind of hard to catch on camera. So this video, I'm exposing all the things that I do behind the scenes. Let's get into it. Okay, so I promise you the majority of these top 10 habits that have helped enhance my life are not standard habits, but the first one is a little cliche. It is that I start my day with gratitude. When we are focusing on what we're grateful for, we're not able to simultaneously think about all the things that are not going properly in our lives. But when we let ourselves get caught up in that way of thinking, we end up taking fear-based action. We end up taking action in our lives that's based on us focusing on what's not going right. When we think about what we're grateful for and actually feel that gratitude within ourselves, and we, as a result, start taking action in our lives that starts to bring more of the things that we appreciate into our lives. The second habit that has enhanced my life is making a what I get to do list instead of the traditional to-do list. This has helped me in the smallest way, but it has made such a big impact on my life because essentially it's going from focusing on what I have to do, like as a chore, and kind of having this feeling of like this weight on my shoulders of like, I have to get this done. It doesn't feel good. I have to get through it, all of that. And shifting to what I get to do just helps me perceive everything in a different way. It helps me perceive it in like a way of, I have the opportunity to do this. How amazing is it that I have the ability to do this? Whether it's something physical that I can do with my body, or it's something mental that I can do and create with my mind, or something involving technology that I have the opportunity to use technology. Anyone watching this video, like we all have the opportunity to be engaging in this right now, and to just shift focus to what we get to do has really, really helped me. Okay, so this is number 3, which is that I finish household tasks before jumping to another one. This is kind of silly, but my friend Carly helped me come up with a few of these habits because some of them are things that they weren't so easy for me to think of because they just kind of come naturally to me, but she kind of took an outside look into my life and the things that I do on a day-to-day basis, and this is one of the things that she said was important to share because essentially I'm not multitasking amongst a million things. If I have dishes out or I'm making a meal, I'm cleaning everything up by the time that I'm done making that meal, and it's not something I have to go back to and revisit. It's not taking up space in my mind of like, oh, I need to go clean those dishes. Same thing with laundry. If I'm taking something out of the dryer, I'm gonna fold it immediately. I'm not just gonna like let it sit around and store, again, that space in my mind and then have to return to it later. I have found that this applies to so much more than just household tasks, but it's more of like how you do one thing is how you do everything. And what I mean by this is in the work environment, Am I letting tasks go unfinished? Am I hopping from one thing to another to another? Am I gonna pause this video right now and go answer a text message? No, it's gonna take so much longer to do everything, and it's just not efficient. And I found that it creates stress in the body to have like a gazillion things going on at once. And same thing goes for relationships. Are you going to kind of feel distracted when someone else is talking to you, or are you going to be able to hold your presence with one thing that's in front of you, whether it's a person talking, or it's the dishes, or it's a work task, or whatever? That I've found is just so powerful to like finish the thing in front of you before going to something else. Habit number 4 is using my Alchemy face serum. This is the only product out of the 10 habits that I'm going to share with you. This has changed my life. This is a little face serum. It's actually created by my friends Megan and Evan, who I met in Hawaii, and I use this every single night. So there's two main ways that this enhances my life. One is that this product is insane. It's so magical. I've tried a lot of different face products, a lot of natural products, and this is it's like a little oil serum, all natural, and I use it every night, but I use it a little bit extra if I notice that I am starting to get a pimple or a blemish. And I kid you not, within less than one day, I notice that it's not growing, it's not getting worse, and if anything, it is diminishing. And since I started using Alchemy, I have not noticed pimples like actually getting to their peak pimple potential. This sounds so silly, but basically it helps my skin on my face a lot. The second way that this enhances my life is simply by having a night routine, having something to do that is off of a screen. After it starts to get dark out, I really try to not spend time on screens, and just having a few little things in place for a night routine, such as cleaning off my face and putting on this serum, is just really helpful for winding down. And that brings me to my 5th habit, which is that I don't use my phone before bed. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't necessarily stick to this 7 days a week, but I do a pretty good job at not being on my screen before I go to bed. Especially once it gets dark, I really try to move away from screens and just start filling my evening with other things like connecting with friends, journaling, putting on my Alchemy face serum, taking a shower, like spending time with Silo, cleaning up the house, tidying up, all of that. For me, if I'm on my phone right before I go to bed, I am so much more restless through the night, and I just don't get as good quality of sleep. Whereas if I'm not really on my phone a couple of hours before bed, I just sleep better. I have way deeper sleep, and sleep's important for functioning in life. So number 6 is a really simple one, but it's also really freaking powerful. This is another one that Carly shared with me, which is that I have a place for everything. Every item I own has like its little designated place. And I'm really good at putting things back in their little designated place. And this has enhanced my life. Well, I mean, I've been this way for a while, but this adds value to my life because I'm not losing things. Like, I'm not spending time looking for things, trying to find things, wondering, oh, where did I last put that? Because everything is always in its place. If this is not how you naturally go through life with your belongings all having their own place, I encourage you to just give it a try. Like, for the next 30 days, try your best to assign all of your things a little place. Like, for example, my laptop is normally in the middle of my desk. It's over here right now because I'm filming, but as soon as I'm done with this whole process, my laptop's going back to where it is. My ring light that I'm using is going back in its place. My camera, I'm gonna take the SD card out. Camera goes back in its place. Like, just try that for 30 days, actually like putting everything back in its place, and it just feels so expansive and freeing. And like, yeah. Number 7 is that I schedule calls with my friends and family. This is something I started maybe a little over a year ago, as my life has just seemed to get like a little bit more busy, and I've lived in so many different places now that I have a really amazing group of friends and know a lot of sweet people in each place that I've lived. And it's like, the amount of people that I want to stay in contact with just keeps growing. I want to do my best to keep these friendships and relationships alive. So both with friends and family, I schedule calls instead of just kind of like calling someone on a whim or picking up a call on a whim. I keep it all pretty scheduled. And for me, this is super helpful so that nothing really leaks into other aspects of my life. And also, I'm not afraid to set a boundary with like, hey, I have an hour to talk starting at 8 a.m. let's talk. And to just let the other person know, like, I'm looking to get off the phone at that hour mark because I have something to do. Number 8 is that I listen when other people talk. Let me explain what I mean by this. I remember a few years ago, somebody shared with me, I don't remember like the exact situation, but someone brought to my attention like how most people are thinking about the next thing they're gonna say when they're listening to someone speak, which makes sense. Like, that is part of communicating with each other, like knowing what you're gonna say next. That kind of tacks onto the conversation. That's how conversation works in some regard. But I realized how much I was doing this and how I was kind of missing a little bit of presence with the other person. If I was constantly thinking of what I wanted to say and like maybe even like butting into what they were sharing. So once that came up in my life, I was like, holy crap, I really want to practice listening, just like being so present until the other person is fully done speaking, and then pausing and considering what I want to say and then speaking. Sometimes I let this habit go if I'm in like a really heated conversation. It's like back and forth banter and it's like passionate and all that. But for the most part, I really strive to fully listen when other people are talking. And this just helps deepen the connection between me and the other person and helps the other person feel really heard and cared for and safe to fully express themselves. Number 9 is that I show up intentionally during tough times. So what I mean by this is I normally am not a very like reactionary person. If something happens, whether it's something small like I spill something all over myself or in the car, or something really intense is happening in my life, maybe it's like a car accident or something else, something more emotional with another person, whatever, I kind of like tuck those fight or flight feelings that might arise away for a moment, for a period of time. And I just kind of choose how I'm going to show up. And this is something that has taken a lot of time to deliberately create this like new way of showing up that feels like second nature. Essentially, I have decided that I want to show up like I'm maintaining composure, like I am peaceful, I'm loving, I'm open and focusing on the gift of this situation. So maybe I spilled something on myself and the gift is that I have another option of something else that I can wear. I do believe that there is a gift and there is an opportunity and there is a positive even in the hardest things that happen in life. That's just something that I strongly believe in. I know that not everyone believes that way, but I have just seen time and time again that there is always a benefit in something. There's always a positive. For me, the processing those initial emotions kind of comes afterwards, after I'm maybe in my own space and I've kind of, returned home or I'm with somebody who really cares about me. It's then that I will talk through and feel through those kind of reactionary feelings and emotions. To me, this has helped so much in life. It helps to not show up as the person who's just freaking out at everything, and it can also be really efficient in situations where the show kind of has to go on. Maybe you're in a really crazy busy season of your business, or you have to show up maintaining composure because you have a family or whatever it may be. So showing up intentionally during tough times is a game changer. Okay, number 10, one of the habits or ways of living that has enhanced my life and will continue to do so. It's a little cheesy, but it's spread the love. To anyone who's been here since the very beginning, where my little saying at the end of my videos was spread the love and spread the health to everyone you possibly can. Big shout out to you for still being here literally 5 years later. I'm so grateful for you. So what I mean by spread the love is that I strive to focus on what I want to see more of in the world, which is love, unity, acceptance, connection, all of those things. And I really try to not focus on the things that I want to see less of in the world. So whether that's some form of suffering or arguing or things not going well or violence, I try to not focus my attention on that. And at this point, it feels really natural to not focus my attention on that. But it wasn't always that way. I was a big complainer and someone who was just really not focusing on the bright side when I was younger. And it's taken time, but it's something that has greatly enhanced my life. And I strive to also do this when I'm connecting with other people. If I notice that someone is really stuck in a loop of focusing on what's not going well for them, I try to ask them questions that are going to help them focus on what they actually want to be taking place instead of what's not going well. So those are the 10 habits and routines, rituals, things that have really enhanced my life over the past few years that I engage in and live by on a regular basis. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. I would love to know in the comment section which habit resonates the most with you at this point in time. And as always, these videos are my personal experience, my personal perspective and outlook on the world. If anything doesn't resonate with you, just let it go. And if anything does, then I encourage you to act on it and implement it into your own life and see how it goes. And I think that's it for now. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you in the next one.